When an unexpected crisis hits or an exhausting project demands our attention, we usually try to power through by hyping ourselves up. But that initial burst of motivation inevitably burns out. Biologically, motivation is a volatile, fast-burning fuel. It relies on spikes of dopamine designed to get us moving, but those spikes are chemically impossible to sustain for long periods. That metabolic reality leads to a highly specific moment of failure. You hit the wall. The exact second your motivation tank hits zero, your willpower evaporates and your forward momentum completely dies. This creates a predictable, exhausting loop in modern life. We rely on hype to start a task, push ourselves too hard, crash against that wall, blame ourselves for a lack of discipline, and then try to start the whole cycle over again. To survive a long-term struggle, you have to stop trying to restart an empty willpower engine and tap into a completely different psychological system. In Finland, the approach to hitting that wall is entirely different. When the tank runs dry, they don't look for more hype. This diagram illustrates their alternative concept, known as Sisu. Notice how the standard motivation tank on the surface is completely empty. Sisu is the massive, hidden psychological reserve located deep beneath that failure point, and it activates precisely when ordinary willpower ends. People often mistake Sisu for toxic productivity or stubbornness. It is actually a biological gear shift, transitioning from the high-energy sprint of motivation into a quiet, enduring state of deep stamina. When you shift your reliance from surface-level enthusiasm to this deeper reserve, the moment of burnout is no longer a dead end. It becomes the starting line. To understand how this works, we have to look at where it comes from. Finland's geographic history is defined by brutal, freezing temperatures and severe, snow-locked isolation. In this environment, dropping a project had fatal consequences. If you stopped chopping wood or navigating a storm because you felt tired, you would freeze to death. Pushing past exhaustion was a strict physical requirement. Over generations, that biological necessity became culturally embedded. Enduring extreme conditions became a shared, expected national trait, practiced collectively rather than in isolation. You see the modern result of this today. Commuters wait for a tram in the middle of a heavy blizzard with the exact same calm demeanor as someone waiting on a sunny afternoon. They endure relentless daily hardships without a trace of panic. The brain has learned to normalize severe discomfort so the body can safely survive it. In an ordinary brain, discomfort triggers multiplying red stress signals that scream to stop. The Sisu mindset intercepts these signals. The panic is neutralized, and the baseline boundary expands to accept the cold. Without this emotional resistance, total energy expenditure plummets. Fighting the reality of pain burns massive amounts of glucose and mental bandwidth. When you stop fighting the feeling, that saved energy physically allows your body to maintain its output far longer than normal. You aren't magically ignoring the pain. You are stripping away the emotional panic associated with it, leaving only a state of pure, quiet endurance. While it originated in Finland, Sisu is a dormant human capacity. It exists right now within your own nervous system. Because it operates via a distinct neurological pathway, you can systematically train and expand your capacity for it, exactly like building physical muscle tissue. The safest, most effective training tool for this is introducing what psychologists call micro-discomforts. These are small, controlled daily choices. You take a cold shower for 30 seconds. You choose the stairs instead of the elevator. You walk to the store instead of driving. It works cognitively, too. When you are studying or working and feel that sharp initial urge to quit, you practice sitting with the frustration and commit to exactly 5 more minutes of focus before stepping away. However, there is a strict boundary to observe. Training your endurance is entirely different from ignoring a true physical injury or pushing yourself into a clinical breakdown. By intentionally leaning into small, routine discomforts, you wire your brain to remain calm under pressure. You guarantee that when a real crisis arrives and your willpower inevitably dies, your hidden reserve is already trained, active, and ready to carry you through the storm.